Al Bronca, who's going to be playing the male voice, David Cole, who is going to be playing Jay McCready, and David Very will be reading the stage directions. Could I ask everyone who is not one of them to mute, please? And I will leave them to get on with it as soon as they are ready.
Okay, this is To Save Just One by Neil J. Brimelow, a script for a short film. Quantum computer staging area, night. A large mass of copper tubing, wires, and glass circuitry dominates the large, sealed, and dimly lit room. The machine hums with an ethereal red energy which glows in the darkness.
Beginning final run, 312. Subject Jay McCready. Time interlocks released. Commencing program run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A hand picks up a phone handset connected to the machine. The sound of whirling and humming electronics swells up. World Trade Center, 93rd floor, September 11th. The sun reflects off the 93rd floor as we slowly zoom in. We snake through a maze of gray cubicles and stop at McCready's cubicle. Jay McCready stares at his computer monitor as he scrolls through an Excel spreadsheet. He glances at the large red LED clock, 8:40 a.m., 9/11/01.
I guess it's that time again.
McCready grabs a scuffed up pencil out of an old and faded Chicago Cubs pencil holder and picks up his Nokia 3390 candy bar cell phone. At the elevators, the doors open and 10 people slog their way out of the elevator as McCready walks past them to the fire exit door. He looks round, makes sure no one is looking, and enters the stairwell, 93rd floor. He bends down, puts a pencil on the floor between the door and the door frame so the door won't close all the way. He pulls out a packet of cigarettes and lights one up. As he coughs out a puff of smoke, his cell phone rings. He looks at the screen. System call.
Risk management. McCready, go ahead.
Listen to me very carefully, Mr. McCready. A hijacked Boeing 767 will crash into the building at 8:46 a.m. Your floor is the terminus point. In order to survive, you must make it below the 91st floor before 8:46 a.m. Our calculations have proven that you are the only person above the terminus point we can save.
McCready takes another drag from his cigarette.
A plane is going to hit the World Trade Center. Sure.
A second plane will strike the South Tower at 9:02 a.m. Both plane strikes will result in the total destruction of both buildings.
What? 2 planes? No, the odds of that happening are impossible. And it's literally my job to know that.
The Pentagon will also be attacked. This will be the largest single terrorist attack on US soil until...
Till when?
Well, that is irrelevant. You must get below the 91st floor immediately.
Who are you?
Let's just say I am part of a clandestine organization that helps people out of impossible situations.
Look, man, it's going to be a long, shitty day, and I'm trying to finish my cigarette before I got to get back to work. So if you don't mind.
You are smoking in the fire escape stairwell. You placed a pencil on the floor because you're afraid you'll get locked out.
He puts out the cigarette on the floor and looks around the stairwell. No camera.
Wait, how do you know?
Time is running out quickly, Mr. McCready. You need to move now.
Look, fella, to tell the truth, I'm a little hungover from last night and I am in no mood for games. My head is pounding like bongo drums, so I'm not going to go running down a flight of stairs so you can get a laugh at my expense.
He takes another drag of the cigarette.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. McCready.
Go ahead.
In your line of work, would you consider it at least a possibility What I'm telling you is the truth.
It's really far out there, but yeah, it could happen. Stranger things have happened. But wait a second. You said your calculations had proven that I could survive this incident. Based on what models?
Probability density function models and other hazard models run through a quantum field matrix. Time, Mr. McCready, time.
Those are for calculating future events. How would you have known about those events unless...
The phone beeps. System call appears on the screen.
Do not answer the other line.
Why?
Because it's me calling you from earlier.
Okay, this is getting crazy now.
Time striations, Mr. McCready. No time to explain. You must
You said the terminus point was the 93rd floor. Then why do I have to get to the 91st floor instead of the 92nd floor?
The fire stairwell collapses above that point due to it being made out of gypsum board and not concrete.
McCready turns and knocks on the wall, which relays a hollow thud.
Sheetrock. All the times I've been in the stairwell and I never knew that. Okay, I'll play along. Now, how does something as massive as the World Trade Center get toppled by a single plane?
A breakthrough.
A breakthrough to what?
To you, Mr. McCready, this is the first time you've asked that question.
But what's the answer to the question? And how does one plane topple a building that weighs 500,000 tons?
The plane smashed through the exterior support columns to one face of each tower. This causes a partial collapse of several floors, weakening the overall structure integrity of the building. Resulting explosion and fire by the impact is aggravated by secondary explosions caused by molten aluminium mixing with water from the sprinkler systems. The buildings then pancake and collapse in near freefall.
That's pretty specific and pretty impressive.
The Cubs win the World Series.
What?
You are secretly a Cubs fan. I can't tell you when, but if you leave now, you will live to see them win. Look, Mr. McCready, this is the last time I can call you as I've reached the end of the probability window.
How many times have you run your program?
This is the 312th and final time. Every other time has failed. Please go, Mr. McCready, I beg you.
He looks at his phone, 8:45 a.m.
Okay, I'll go.
Then run. Mr. McCready, run.
McCready tosses his cigarette on the stairs, stomps it out, and bolts down the stairs. He sprints down the floors, 92, 91, 90. Just as he passes floor 89, a gigantic explosion shakes the building and the power goes out. McCready is showered in dust and debris. Darkness. A singular light from McCready's cell phone illuminates the dust-filled stairwell. McCready puts his phone on speakerphone.
Are you still there?
Yes, Mr. McCready, I'm still with you.
Well, what the hell do I do now?
To be honest, we don't know. We never made it this far.
Great.
We do know that you have 1 hour and 42 minutes to traverse 89 floors before the building collapses. So continue moving rapidly, Mr. McCready.
Anything else I should know? Alien invasion, volcanoes in Central Park?
The second plane will hit the South Tower in approximately 16 minutes, so be prepared for that. It'll not structurally impact you, but by our calculations, the South Tower will collapse just after you emerge from the building.
McCready puffs and pants as he scurries down the fire escape stairwell.
If I make it out of this, you gotta let me buy you a beer. I know a place where it sells.
An explosion rattles the building. The lights in the fire escape stairwell flicker on momentarily. A woman's scream bellows in the stairwell. A screaming woman falls down the center of the spiral stairwell and past McCready. McCready looks over the edge of the railing and sees the woman impact on a junction point several stories below.
My God.
That is the first of many dead you will see today, Mr. McCready. Let the dead bury the dead, for your fate changes today. Run, Mr. McCready, run!
McCready closes the clamshell on the phone and books it down the stairs. Debris and death everywhere. Dazed and covered in soot, MacCready stumbles out of the shattered front of the building, firemen and police everywhere. Bloody, broken glass covers broken bodies on the ground. MacCready looks around in a daze and then runs up the street. Endless dust, debris, and papers swirl in the street. MacCready gets 3 blocks away and stops to breathe. Suddenly, the South Tower collapses. A dust cloud bellows towards MacCready just as he turns around. The cloud envelops MacCready. MacCready stumbles into a dry cleaner's. He coughs out dust, leans against a wall, and slides down the wall to sit on the ground. MacCready's phone dings. He looks at the text message. All the traces that remain of the longings of that land are 2 hands that plead in vain, filled with burning sand. Oh, to save just one and lead him to the promised land. Goodbye, Mr. MacCready. Yeah.
Oh, you just gave me shivers.